soft, steady tone. Close your eyes and imagine a small American town surrounded by empty fields and sleeping woods, a quiet place where nothing ever seems to happen. But sometimes, beneath the calm surface of everyday life, darkness waits, patient and unseen. Tonight, I'll tell you the story of a man whose life blurred the line between loneliness and madness. A man whose name would echo through decades of horror films and nightmares. His name was Ed Gein. It was the early 1950s. Post-war America was growing fast. Families watched black and white TVs in living rooms filled with hope. Children rode bicycles down clean suburban streets. Yet in the farmlands of Wisconsin, time moved differently. The winters were long, the fields endless, and the nights completely silent. In the town of Plainfield, people knew Ed Gein as a quiet handyman, polite, shy, a little odd, but harmless. He lived alone on his family's farm, a weather-worn house surrounded by empty acres. To most, he was just another small-town loner. Nothing more. Ed's childhood was shaped by isolation. His mother, Augusta, was a strict and deeply religious woman. She taught her sons that the world was full of sin and that women were its root. So the Gein boys rarely left the farm. Their lives revolved around chores, prayer, and the sound of their mother's voice echoing through the house. When his father died, and later his brother, only Augusta remained. She was Ed's world, his guide, his fear, his only companion. And when she passed away, something inside him fractured. The silence of the house grew heavier. The rooms became shrines of memory. Ed Gein was alone, utterly and completely alone. After her death, Ed boarded up most of the rooms. He lived in a small corner of the house, surrounded by dust and fading photographs. Neighbors saw him occasionally, at the hardware store, at the local diner. He spoke little, smiled politely, and went back to his farm. But behind closed doors, his loneliness became something else. A fascination with mortality, with what lies beyond death. He read pulp magazines and anatomy books. He drifted deeper into his imagination, where reality and fantasy began to blur. Slower tone, quieter background. This was not a monster in the shadows. It was a man drowning in silence. In November 1957, Plainfield woke up to a shocking headline. The quiet handyman everyone thought they knew was at the center of a horrifying investigation. The details that followed would haunt the nation, not for their cruelty, but for what they revealed about isolation, obsession, and loss. For the first time, America stared directly into the face of madness, born from loneliness. Reporters flooded the town. Psychiatrists debated the meaning of sanity, and Hollywood took notes, because from Ed Gein's story would emerge the ghosts of modern horror. In the years that followed, writers and filmmakers would reshape his story into new forms. Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. Each character, a mirror reflecting a fragment of Ed Gein's loneliness, his confusion, and the human mind's fragile edge. But behind the legend, there was still that quiet man from Wisconsin, more tragic than terrifying. O'Day, the old Gein farm is gone. Only the fields remain, silent, endless, like a scar beneath the snow. And sometimes when the wind moves through the corn, locals say it sounds like a whisper, a reminder that even the calmest places can hide the darkest stories. Fade out, whisper tone. Sleep well, and remember, the quietest souls often carry the loudest echoes.